Hey guys, welcome to your tutorial video. We're going to be talking today about a very exciting topic, which is reflexives and present tense irregular verbs. This is actually, for those of you that took beginner 2 with us, you studied this in that term. We will do a little bit revision of this in case it's a little bit tricky or you've forgotten a little bit, and you will be using this in class next week. Remember, all this material is also in your handouts. So very quickly, an overview. Reflexive verbs. What is a reflexive verb? Morphologically speaking, meaning how it looks, it is a verb that will have an SE at the ending, alright? My recommendation, not to get a little bit intimidated by the length of the reflexive verbs, because you can have some like levantarse, which are quite long, bañarse, which means to bathe, would be, first of all, forget about the SE ending, alright? Forget about that thing exists. And looking at the verb, you'll be like, bañar. I can deal with that verb. That verb is a normal AR verb, right? And you know how to conjugate AR verbs, right? So the first thing I recommend you to do is deal with the conjugation of that part of the verb, AR verb. So you have baño, bañas, baña, bañamos, bañáis, bañan, alright? That part is done, congratulations. And then you come to this guy and you're like, okay, now I have to deal with you. So now just remember to bring it to the front of the verb. Separate is one word, two words. So this position of this se will change depending on some things in the future. But for now, it will always come here in two separate words. So yo me, tú te, él, ella, usted se, nosotros nos, vosotros os, ellos, ellas, ustedes se. Alright, that's all. So me baño, I bathe myself. Te bañas, you bathe yourself. Remember that reflexive are verbs that the action come back to the person expressing the sentence. Alright, there's not like I shower a child, I shower myself. Alright, it's like a boomerang action or like a mirror. That's what is called reflection, reflexive from reflection, right? So that's the reflexive verbs. Then we have here some irregular verbs in the present tense that you saw in beginner 2, and you will continue to see. Some are reflexive, some are not reflexive. And there are some groups in which you can group these, and there's some that, completely irregular, and some that are only regular in the yo, in the present, in the first person. My recommendation is keep a little notebook or something like that where you have a list of the different groups of irregularities and write them down. And I mean, of course this will help, but what will help the most is just to practice, alright? So there is the irregulars in which the O changes for U, E. When we conjugate it, we have an example here, acostarse, which is an irregular, a reflexive verb, and also irregular because it ends with se. And if it was a normal, regular verb, we would say me acosto. But sorry, that's wrong because it's an irregular. So the O changes for U, E, and then we have me acuesto. I go to bed. Alright? We have the ones in which the E changes for EM. So you have a non-reflexive, despertarse. Remember, without this se, it's an AR verb, okay? So we put an O there. But you would think normally you would say me desperto. Wrong. We need to change it for IE, so me despierto. Then we have another group when the E changes for the I. We have a verb here called repetir, to repeat, non-reflexive. And you will think it's repeto, but repeto is like Pinocchio. No repeto. Repito. Alright, we just get rid of that, put an I instead. And there's some that are irregular only in the first person. For example, hago, which comes from the verb hacer, to do. You say yo hago, I do, pero tú haces, él hace, it continues to be normal. Salgo, I go out. From salir, yo salgo, pero tú sales, él sale. And there's some that are completely irregular, and that's just how life is. Ir, which is a very useful one and common, to go. Yo voy, tú vas, él va, etc. Alright? So these are the groups that, again, keep a note or something where every time you find a new verb that follows this pattern, you write it down in your list. Okay? So at least visually speaking, you have it more organized. Then this is my beautiful piece of artwork. I'm going to send it to Tate Modern. It looks like the boot of a clown. So la bota, alright, the boot. La bota is important. Why is it important? You can make more beautiful boot, but the idea is important. You have the pronouns yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So you see, everything that is inside this boot will be affected by this irregularity. Alright? So we saw, for example, me acuesto, te acuestas, se acuesta, se acuestan. Alright? But it will not be irregular in nosotros and vosotras. So when we conjugate these guys, all these guys here, with nosotros or vosotras, we do not apply these irregularities. Alright? So we do it normal. For example, let's take the verb again. Let's take the verb repetir, to repeat. Yo repito, tú repites, él, ella, usted repite, nosotros repetimos, vosotros repetís, ellos, ellas, ustedes repiten. Alright? So you see there, irregular, regular, 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 normal, normal. Okay? This is just how it is. Think of a boot because it is an easy way to leave these guys outside. But again, as always, practice, practice, and do your quiz, and enjoy your next class. Thank you.